Interest rates in Ireland are rising very rapidly at the moment. The current kind of variable rate that you can get with Bank of Ireland, for example, I think is around 4.5 to 4.6% APRC. Back in mid 2022, you could have easily gotten a rate of 3.15% variable with a many number of different banks. So the question on everyone's lips is, when is this actually going to stop? In this video, we're going to see what the experts are currently saying. They might not have a clue, but it's all we kind of have to go on at the moment, and what you can expect and how that can try and guide your decision making if you are coming off a fixed rate mortgage soon, or else you're just after buying your first property and wondering whether you should fix your rate now or else go variable. I normally bore the arse off of you with all these videos, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside for a walk and give you a bit of scenery to look at least while I'm talking about all of this boring stuff. Each quarter, the ECB releases a report, and that report is called the ECB Survey of Professional Forecasters. So what this does, it just collates all of the different responses from experts employed by financial or non-financial institutions such as kind of economic research institutions and so on. So it's a good summary of lots of different opinions across the Eurozone. Before we go through their expectations, it's important to keep in mind that nobody can predict the future. One single black swan event could change the basis of every assumption that the respondents to this survey have made. That being said, it's still interesting to see what direction the experts are expecting us to go in, because I don't really have a Scooby-Doo, and I'm sure most people don't as well. As part of this survey, they asked the experts on lots of different things such as employment rates, GDP and everything like that. And one of the questions that they are asked is, what are their expectations around the ECB's main refinancing rate? So that is quite interesting to see what their thoughts are on that especially. So this graph here represents the results of the survey. So just to note as well, this survey is released quarterly. The last report was released in early February in 2023. So what would have happened since then really is the ECB has gone ahead and further raised rates by another 0.5%, and also the latest inflation figures have shown that inflation has continued to cool down a little bit more than people have expected and now sits at 6.9% for the Eurozone. What the experts have said is that the ECB's main refinancing rate is set to top out at 3.5%. So that's kind of where we are already at the moment. And they don't really see a drop in rates until 2024. And at that, it's only a marginal drop in interest rates they are expecting in 2024 of 0.25% back to 3.25%, and a further drop of 0.5% back to 2.75% in 2025. So based on the experts' opinion, we are set to be living in a higher rates environment for at least the next 2 years. So how does that affect you and your decision making process? Should you fix your mortgage rate at the rates we're currently seeing at the moment, or should you take your chances and go with a variable rate mortgage? After initially being slow to pass on rates to the customers, Irish banks are now kind of more readily raising their own mortgage lending rates in response to the ECB hiking its key interest rates. If you are on a tracker mortgage, then you are already well used to seeing your mortgage rate change as of late. But for those either coming off fixed rate soon or taking out a mortgage for the first time, what should your thinking be? Well, a couple of things to factor into your decision making should be the ECB has risen their rates so rapidly over the last few months that the lending market really hasn't fully caught up with it yet. We haven't really seen the whole market settle yet, so we don't even know what the lie of the land is going to be. For example, for the last interest rate rise by the ECB, it's only really been passed on by the likes of Bank of Ireland, and I think EBS could be another one that have followed suit, but I could be wrong on that one. If you are close to finalising your property purchase right now, you might be able to still take up some of the better deals that are on the market at the moment, where they're coming in roughly at around 3.4 to 3.8%. if you decide to fix for the next 2 or 3 years. As the banks have been slow to raise their rates, inevitably when the ECB eventually starts to lower their rates again, the Irish banks will likely be slow to follow suit once more. So even though the experts are expecting rates to start dropping marginally in 2024 and 2025, this might not have an immediate impact on borrowers unless you are on a tracker mortgage. So it still seems that there's a couple of half decent fixed rate deals that you can get yourself in on, but obviously timing is going to be key. Looking back at history, the ECB interest rates don't remain very high for very long. So would I actually go and fix for a very long period of 5 to 10 years at current rates? I probably wouldn't personally, but everybody has their own personal circumstances and there's no one right answer for everybody. If you do end up fixing now for 5 to 10 years, then there is a risk you can miss out on any future rates being lowered in the next 2 to 3 years and have to continue paying well and above what you should be. On the flip side though, you will be giving yourself a lot of certainty. You'll know exactly what cash flows you have to have ready over the next 5 to 10 years, and that might be something that helps you plan your finances much better. And if inflation suddenly rises again, you will be protected from any future interest rate rises.
What do you think, lads? Fix over here, Bill?
It is hard to say, but going with a variable rate at the moment might not also be a wise move, as many banks have not yet fully passed on the latest ECB rate hikes. And you could find yourself with an almost immediate rate increase when you first take out your mortgage, which is not ideal. So based on what the experts' predictions are for the near future, which should be taken with a huge pinch of salt, and depending on how far along the process you are to securing your property or coming towards the end of a fixed rate deal, it may make sense to fix for up to 2 to 3 years if you can get your hands on a very good deal soon before they all disappear. So what are your opinions on what we're likely to see happen over the next couple of years? I would be very interested to know what people's opinions are, and we can get a discussion going down in the comment section. So thanks very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video and the views. If you did, please make sure and drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.